Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. So today I would like to break down exactly the potential trades you could have caught from here. So this trade here, I believe you could have just marked this zone of resistance. I want to break down also if we had a trade here. I want to break down what happened here, 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 and that's pretty much it. We have to study 3, 6, 8, 8 zones. So that's going to be really amazing study. And those are all potential trades you could have caught, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to break all of that down with you beautiful people. So let's get right into it. So this is TradingView. You put your volume profiles here, put VWAP. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. So this is one of the best software you can use to have a look at the order flow. It's called ATAS. As you can see the logo here. And ATAS allows you, among other things, to have a footprint chart. They call it clusters. And those are 24 range tick bars. And so they're not time frame based because it removes a lot of noise having a tick one. So especially in areas of consolidations, instead of having 10 candles, you're only going to have perhaps 2, 3, 4, 5. So it reduces a lot of noise, reduces a lot of the information. So the best order flow traders, they use range bar charts instead of time frame based ones, because the amount of time price spent in an area isn't really as relevant as what happened there. Alrighty, so I would just like to start here at 9:45, 9:50-ish. Price was at 68.46. So as you can see here, was right here. Now, why would you have looked for a trade in that zone? Very simply, you can mark your volume profile levels, but you can also mark simple support and resistance levels. So as you can see, price here, this level acted as a magnet for price. Here, price did consolidate a lot, then came under, gave some sells from here, then came above, gave a buy from here. So you just pay attention. When price reaches that level again, you just pay attention. You just pay attention. Price reaches it. You look on your footprint. If you're going to have a reversal, you're going to see two things. Trap sellers getting absorbed, and then aggressive buyers that are going to show up and lift price up. If you're going to see a break and retest, meaning price will break your level and then retest it to come lower to do a continuation, you're going to see the opposite. You're going to see buyers showing up here, getting trapped, getting absorbed, and then you're going to see aggressive sellers pushing price down. So what did you see here? We're going to zoom in. And those, ladies and gentlemen, are footprint charts. You cannot trade without footprint charts. I'm telling you, you need footprint charts. You need footprint charts. They're vital. Now you're going to ask me, Matt, what the hell is all of that information? Very simple. First column, you have deltas. So delta is the difference between aggressive buying and aggressive selling. So at each price level, you have a number, and it basically means, for example, here at 68.5125, you had 134 more buy contracts than sell contracts. And here, you had 119 more sell contracts than buy contracts. That's very simple, delta. And now the second column is the volume distribution in each candle. And that is also a very relevant information. So let's have a look. Am I going to take a reversal trade, meaning a buy, or am I going to take a break and retest trade, meaning a sell? So you pay attention. Okay, first information you see here, you got a strong seller trying to sell the market. And basically, if you want to sell this thing for a break and retest, you want to see price maintaining itself under that level here at 48.25. And you can also look at those informations. I find them utterly relevant. You compare the final delta to either the max or the minimum delta. You just look at that. So here, let me ask you a question. Did price maintain itself under that level here at 48.25? No. What happened is that the buyers came back and they showed up with buy positions. Here you can see 200 of them. Now, if you look at those numbers, it's a very good sign for the sellers. Here you see the number minus 471, minus 471 is the same exact number. It's a very bearish sign, looking very good for the sellers. And now if you look here, are we having follow through? Are we having continuation of all that bearishness with those numbers? Absolutely not. This might be indicating the tide is turning and we might be seeing a reversal. Those bearish numbers completely disappear and now they're very, very positive. Here it went from 3 to 276. Okay, but still it went from 276 to 66. So it's telling you there are still some sellers present. You can see it here with that level. Now you want to see the following candle. The following candle is going to give you more of an indication of what we're having. The next candle, you really want to see, is price going to maintain itself below that level here, which where the sellers were, or is price going to maintain itself above where the buyers came here at 49.50-ish. What happens in this candle? Obviously, the buyers show up strongly. They have a very strong move, beautiful move. So now you can say that the sellers got trapped, they got absorbed, and the buyers are in control. So what you can do is once you see that candle, you enter. You would have entered during this candle, perhaps, let's say here at the 52.50. So let's go on our trading view chart. 52.50. So you would have entered here. You can put your stop loss below that level or perhaps below here because this is really where the buyers initiated the move. You can put it under, it's totally fine, no problem. Okay, let's say you put it here at 47.25. 47.25. And now what can you target? What can you target? You can target this high. Very, very simple. Okay, so right there and then, ladies and gentlemen, this would have been a beautiful 4 Rs. Could have been less, 3R, could have been a little bit more if you wanted to hold it. Would have been 5 Rs. This was a trade that took, what, 5 minutes? So beautiful trade. Didn't take it, unfortunately. I was not on the chart at that time. Now I want to break down that trade because here you had somehow a zone of resistance. So you're just paying attention. You're just paying attention of what you're having here. Perhaps price is going to sell again back from here. Maybe it's going to do a break and retest. You don't know. You just pay attention. Now, if you want to see a reversal, what do you want to see? You want to see trap buyers getting absorbed, and then aggressive sellers showing up. If you're going to see a break and retest, you're going to see trap sellers and aggressive buyers showing up. Know exactly what you're looking for. Super important. Okay, so let's come here at 10 o'clock. Okay, what do we see here, ladies and gentlemen? Super strong bullish candle. Super strong bullish candle. Those numbers are very strong, and now hey, maybe we're going to have a break and retest the way I see it. I'm live in price and I don't know what's going to happen next. The way I see it, we're going to have a break and retest. It's super bullish. So what am I always saying? If you want to see a continuation, you really want to see the buyers holding that level here. You want to really see them holding that level. Now that you see this candle, it's looking really bad. It's looking really bad for your continuation trade to the upside. So really, by seeing this, you're really considering a sell, a reversal, because you see there's no follow through of those strong bullish numbers here. Those numbers now, they become the same, and there's a lot more volume also, 11,000 compared to 4,000. So it's looking very bad. You can be almost sure that the sellers are going to have a follow through here, and this is exactly what they got. And even coming at this level, a big seller shows up and sells this thing like crazy. Here you can see big orders, big orders, huge orders, 534. And really, you could have entered here. You could have put a sell limit order, meaning when price comes back here, you get triggered into the trade somewhere here. Okay, so let's say you entered here at the 72.50 on a sell. What do you target? It's up to you, my friend. You could have targeted that low or the previous day value area high. So let's just put it here. Guys, I am utterly mistaken. This is something that can happen sometimes. Price is really messy. It starts chopping. And this is exactly what happened. I said you could have entered here and price would have taken you out. So this would have been a loss here. I would have taken the sell. I'm telling you, honestly and realistically, I would have taken the sell. You would have gotten taken out. Now, it does not mean you throw your trade idea to the garbage. Price takes out those sellers here. And what happens? Let's just look at it. Here, very strong number. However, we want to see a follow through. And we really don't see it. Bang. Price comes down. This candle was really indicating a lot of buy pressure because of a big wick to the downside, and it went nowhere. Zero follow through. Those numbers are the same, looking super bearish. And maybe you could have started selling from here. You put your stop loss above. You restart selling from here, okay? And I don't know. Something else you could have done? You see that big level that that price would perhaps come revisit that level here. So you can put a buy limit order here at 76.50. Like Andrew Tate says, be perspicacious, pay attention. If you pay attention to your charts, you're going to see that a lot of times price will come revisit the level where you had the most volume in your footprint. So that would be here the 76.50. 76.50. Boom. Stop loss above. Okay. What do you target? Man, it's up to you. You can target this, or you can target this low here. You really do whatever you want, man. You can target this low. You do whatever the hell you want. So this trade would have been a beautiful 10R trade. Very clean, but remember here we had a loss. Let me mark it. We're going to put short position. This was 100% a loss, a legit one. Totally legit. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So there we go. Now, price reaches your previous day value area high, and when price reaches it from above, just look. Maybe you're going to have a break and retest. Maybe you're going to have what? A reversal. So let's have a look here at 1025. All right, so again, let me recapitulate. If you're going to see a break and retest, you're going to see sellers getting absorbed and aggressive buyers showing up. If you're going to see a reversal, you're going to see the opposite. You're going to see trap sellers and aggressive buyers. So price reaches your level, you know what to expect. You know what you're looking for. You know that if scenario A happens, you're looking for that. If scenario B happens, you're looking for that. Okay, so price comes here. You see those big sellers showing up here. The next candle, you really want to see if the sellers are going to be holding price below that level. Look here. Is it happening? Look at this candle. Is it happening? No. The sellers are now trapped. They're now underwater. They're now losing money. And the buyers are very strong. Now, even if you look at this candle, very strong numbers. They're the same. That was your buy signal. You could have entered during that candle somewhere here. So let's say 68.41. Long position. 68.41. Stop loss. Where can you put your stop loss? From where they initiated the buy move. So I would say you put your stop loss under. Now, what can you target? You could have targeted VWAP. Again, this is really up to you. can target VWAP. We cannot always target this high because price will not always break the high, break the low, break the high, break the low. It's not always going to happen. So you could have targeted VWAP. This would have been a 2R trade, not the best. And it would have come here all the way to break even, come back, big swings in that trade. Nonetheless, if you're going to have a reversal to the upside one way or the other, you're going to see trap sellers and aggressive buyers showing up. Otherwise, it's impossible to see a reversal to the upside. Now, it's not always clean. Sometimes it's a little bit messy. Sometimes you enter late on the trade. Nonetheless, this is what you got. Let's look here. Price reaches VWAP. Now, VWAP, if price comes from under, you can look for a reversal. Sometimes it does a break and retest of it. Let me show you a break and retest. Here it did a break and retest of it. Okay, here we could really quickly analyze what happened here. All right, so let's have a look at that trade. You could have targeted that low. Let's just look here. I'm expecting on the footprint, we're going to see trap buyers and aggressive sellers. So let's come here at 11. There you go, 11 right here. Oh, so this is what I mean. It's a little bit more choppy. Look at this shit. Very choppy. Nonetheless, let's have a look. Buyers are very strong according to those numbers. Now here, they're losing steam a little bit. It goes from 1K, 1K to 500. And the candle is red. It's a divergence candle. It's telling you something. Maybe the sellers are showing up. And now here they're completely trapped. They're all underwater. You really want to see, if you're going to have a continuation to the upside, you really want to see price holding itself above that level. And this does not happen. Boom. Now, however, it's true that the sellers are really showing up more, but the candle ends up being green, okay? Big wick to the downside, indicating a lot of buy pressure. Nonetheless, those buyers are still underwater. Now, from here, your fingers are not on the trigger. You hold still. You're not taking any trades. You look here. Okay. Interesting candle. A little bit confusing one. The final delta ends up being more or less half of the max delta. So it's telling you the buyers are losing steam. Nonetheless, they got this big order here. You really want to see price holding itself above, which does not happen. You got a lot of sell orders in that part. And really the candle after was the nail in the coffin. Could have entered somewhere here during that candle. Very strong. Let's add 68.55. 68.55. 68.55. Boom. You could have put your stop loss here. 59. And you target. You could have targeted this low, but me, I would have perhaps targeted this one. It's really up to you there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just say for the sake of this, at 4R, you got out of the trade. Maybe you entered earlier, maybe you entered later. It's just for the sake of an example, okay? So that was a trade here. Okay, very good. When price reaches a low, maybe sometimes you can look for a reversal, but it was really choppy here, so it's going to be messy. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look here at freaking 12.15 at what happened on VWAP. 12.15. Now, I'm going to be utterly honest with you guys. Something I'm still trying to figure out in my trading is when this candle is still being formed, being developed, it shows different information. So would I have entered here? Hard to say. Maybe I would have entered, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you. Perhaps earlier, perhaps way later. Let's come here at 12.15. Okay, so you see those buyers, they're in big trouble. Price comes down a lot. And then price comes again. Oh, this is ugly. This is really ugly. Nonetheless, price really touches VWAP here at 12.15. So it's really here. And you see this goddamn candle lasted how long? 10 minutes. So in just one candle, you have all the information here. This candle, if you look at the numbers, very, very bullish indication. You want to see follow through. If you don't see follow through of it, it's indicating a reversal. Now, those 223s, you see them? Are we having similar numbers here? No, it goes even all the way from 370 to 13. So it's looking bad for the buyers, it's looking good for the sellers. Now you see that big buyer here, 241 at 55.50. He's underwater. He's completely stuck. He's trapped. All those sellers, they show up under him. They protect that level. The sellers are trying to protect that level. And this is exactly what happens. Boom, they got a big sell order here. Those numbers, they go from bullish to very mediocre, then completely bearish. Okay, so you could have entered during that candle here. Okay, looking at perhaps the 49. Or do you put your stop loss? You can put it here, really from where the sellers initiated the move, 55.25. Okay, what do you target? Then you could have targeted the previous day point of control. It's up to you, honestly. You could have targeted that low, could have targeted that. You can have taken TP1 here, TP2. It's up to you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just saying for the sake of this example, you could have. Anyway, when price reached that low, you keep your eye on the footprint. You just keep your eye on it. You just keep a look here when price runs that low at freaking 1245. Here, you keep a look. Do I want to close my position or do I want to keep holding? Now, you would have seen this buyer and you want to see price holding itself above. And you see that he completely fails and price continues lower. Do you close your position? No. You keep it until next target, and that would have been the previous day point of control, as you can see here. Both the session one and the cash one, very, very powerful level. Price reaches it, and it's super messy. Hey. Oh, look at that garbage. This is why I'm telling you, price, this is basically auction market theory. Price goes from areas of balance to imbalance. So when it balances, it's consolidating. And when it goes out of balance, imbalance, it's trending. So price cannot always trend. Price trends, then balances a little bit, trends, balance, trend, balance. Okay, trend. And now what is price doing? Balancing it. It's more or less consolidating here. So let's have a look here. Price really did a consolidation of a freaking 30 minutes. Ugly. Nonetheless, let's have a look. Price reaches the point of control. You have a look. Maybe you're going to have a reversal. I don't know. This is as ugly as trading gets. Honestly. Ugly. It's going to be a nightmare to break down for me. Look, the sellers are already selling this, and you see the buyers, the aggressive buyers showing up. Already not looking good for the sellers. Already not looking good. Something I forgot to mention, the point of control area is a place where price consolidates a lot. It's very choppy, lots of barcoding, back and forth, whipsaw. So it's a choppy place to take a trade. The big institutions were really happy to transact here. Price comes here. Okay. Boom. You see those numbers? It's looking bad for the sellers. It goes from 1K to 211. Nonetheless, you see here, it's not looking good for the sellers either. So here, if you look here, it's looking bad for the sellers. The buyers are really showing up, but they're still powerful. It goes from 1K to 211. And here, it's a pretty good sign for the buyers because it goes from minus 504 to minus 118. So the buyers are doing pretty good, and you really want to see them hold that level. So a big seller comes here, and after what happens to that big seller, is he able to hold price below him? Look at this candle. Not at all. And now this candle here has really bearish number, but it barely has a follow through. So perhaps you could have entered here at the 68.20 level. 68.20 level. That would have been a freaking sniper entry. Put your stop loss under here. Guys, this is just for educational purposes. What do you target? Could have targeted this high or VWAP. Now, when price reaches VWAP, then you're looking on the footprints. This is not set and forget. It's fucking set and check. Would have been nonetheless a fucking insane trade. Look, you could have entered more. You could have entered way later. Could have entered way later. But when price reached VWAP and it's close to your target, you take a look. Am I closing the trade? Am I not? Price reaches VWAP here at freaking 150, but let's just come here, man. 13 Rs is insane. Insane trade. Realistically, are you really going to catch 13 Rs? Probably not. But I think it was a trade. I think it was a trade. Let's come here at freaking 150. Now, if you're going to have a reversal, what are you going to see? Very simple. You're going to see trap buyers and aggressive sellers. Okay, so what do we see? Buyers are trapped here, buyers are trapped here. In this candle, they go from 452 to 444, very, very bullish. Here, not looking good. You see how the sellers are appearing, minus 552. And there's a big wick indicating a lot of buy pressure, but looking very bad for a continuation of that candle. They're barely going anywhere. Now, if you look at that one, not looking good. The buyers are completely stuck here, and the sellers are really selling at that level here at the 50, which is a really round number, psychological even number. And boom, really selling from here, and then big seller appears here. You could have entered when that big market participant entered at the 47.75. 47.75. Put your stop loss, I would say, maybe below that level when they really initiated the move from here or here. No need to put it above, in my opinion. I would put it here. You see here and here. Now, me, I don't know what I would have targeted. Then you're just looking on the freaking footprint. When you see the sellers losing steam, you fucking cut the trade. You exit the trade, bro. Here, you see those numbers, you see big green candle, close the trade. Close the trade here, close it. At freaking 32. Okay? So that's would have been a nice trade here. 8 Rs. Look, realistically, put 4 R, 3 Rs, I don't care. Now, let's come here, ladies and gentlemen. Now, here was tricky because here you might have the impression, man, we're having a freaking reversal. We're having a reversal. And then what happens? Clean break and retest. So let's have a look at this whole area if I would have taken a sell here. 252. So as you can see here, 251, 252 is right here. So me, honestly, seeing this, I would have not been super enthusiastic about a sell, honestly. I would have seen all of this. Buyers are still very strong in that candle. I would have wanted to see the next candle, and boom, the sellers are losing all of their momentum. This big candle here with this big order, 1K. You want to see price holding itself above. Boom, really happens. And really, to get on the break and retest, you want to see the opposite of reversals. You want to see, if it's a break and retest to the upside, you want to see trap sellers and aggressive buyers. You want to see price holding itself above that level, and they kind of fell here. They fell here. You're not taking a trade. You're not taking a trade. Maybe you're going to have a reversal. Maybe you're not. Now, you look at this next trade here. It was a little bit trickier, but you're getting very strong numbers. Okay, and you want to see price holding itself above first that level and those levels here. And boom, this is exactly what you got. Could have entered here during this candle. So when that candle was done forming, maybe you could have entered here at the level of that candle. Or let's just say somewhere higher. So 57, let's put 57. Buy position, 57. Where do you put your stop loss? I would put it here where the buyers really initiated the move. Fucking 52.25. 52.25. Boom. Now, what do you target? Man, tricky. Look, I'm just saying POC was here. Just curious to where POC was when price was here. Look, if you were dragging the POC all the way here, you would have seen it's reaching our value area high. Maybe now it's going to reverse. If you had it at fucking 930, you would have seen, okay, we're reaching POC, stopping it at 930. Then you do whatever you want. Nonetheless, you're paying attention to the freaking footprint. If you're seeing it reversing in your face, you exit the trade. Plus, one thing I forgot to say. You're always looking at Bookmap. And if on Bookmap you see passive orders at a level above you, you're paying attention. Price reaches that level, it can start reversing. Price reaches that level here. You see those big buyers. Are they able to maintain price above them? Boom, no. Looking bad, boom, no. Again, they try to enter. Are they able to hold price? No, boom. You exit at freaking 65.75. So this would have been a not the best trade of the month, but this would have been a small trade. Small trade. And now here price reached POC. You're just having a look. Maybe you could have started selling from here. I don't know. Start selling from where you see this. 64.25. You put your stop loss here perhaps at 69.25. And what do you target? I don't know, man. Target VWAP. Alrighty, guys. So let's come here. This would have been 4 R's minus 1, 3 R's plus 10, 13 plus 2, 15 plus 4, 19 plus 4, 23 plus 13, 36 plus 8. That would have been 44 R's plus 1 plus 2, 47. Now, those trades are crazy. Let's make it more realistic. I would put it maybe 30 R's you could have caught, or 20 R's-ish. Between 20 and 40, you could have had losses. Once you're done for the day, you stop trading. It's really up to you. But I'm just breaking down all of the trades that happened today. So yeah, guys, if you know what the fuck you're doing, you're knowledgeable, you're skillful, you're an expert, you got experience and time in the markets, it is my belief that you can make money. The amount of capital you're trading is completely up to you. The amount of stress you can handle is up to you. At one point, sky's the limit. You can be trading 100,000 like you could be trading 1 million or 10 million. You could be catching 10 hours a day like you could be catching 20 hours a day. It's really up to you, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the power of trading. It's done for that video. It's been a fucking long one. Lots of things to break down. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you got a lot of value from that trade, and I'm going to be bouncing now. Cheers. Farewell and Godspeed.